Now, Boris Johnson has announced that our current COVID restrictions may be abolished by the end of this month in England, provided that, and I quote, encouraging trends in the data continue. This would remove the requirement for people to wear masks in health and care settings and the requirement to self-isolate if they have symptoms or even test positive for COVID.
But what does this mean for foreign travel and foreign holidays? Well, as ever, we are delighted to be with the channel favourite and travel expert, travel editor of The Independent, of course, Simon Calder, who joins us from France. Welcome to the programme. I suppose the big question is, we're going to remove restrictions likely in 2 weeks in England. That'll affect people probably coming here. It's not really going to do that much for people who want to go abroad, though, is it?
Tom, it's a real muddle. But the big news is that in 17 hours' time, you will see that the testing requirement, which fully vaccinated people currently need to enter the UK, is to be dropped. Now, certainly Scotland and Wales aren't delighted by that, but it's going to happen anyway. And the England decision to open everything up in 2 weeks' time is very simply possibly going to trigger a lot of other countries saying, yikes, they're going too quickly, and close things down. But actually, I foresee that we are seeing competitive. That is where they have a look at the damage that's been done to their travel industry. They have a look at how much Brits love to go on holiday, and they say, OK, in you come. A good example is actually here in France, where they are on the verge of dropping the requirement to have a pre-departure test. You still need to show that you're vaccinated, and you still need to have this app called Tous Anti-Covid, which the very nice cafe that I'm in, before they would sell me a cup of coffee to sit outside with, insisted on scanning my pass. So there's still a lot of bureaucracy, but things are generally getting better.
Invented the word. They really do love it, don't they?
Yes, it's sorry, Mercy.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, what does this mean for the travel industry more generally and the loosening of restrictions across Europe, across the world? Is this good news for the travel industry in a significant way? Because, of course, so much damage was done to the industry during all those lockdowns we had.
Oh, yes, and travel has been absolutely traumatised, and even now there are not nearly enough people actually travelling internationally to have anything like a profitable industry, and that is damaged even more, Mercy, because you've got things such as Canary Islands and the rest of Spain, which normally would be looking forward to a fantastic February half term. It's absolutely a favourite place to go. But the Spanish have this bizarre rule which says 12-year-olds who have not been fully vaccinated can't come in, even if they've had one jab and then they caught COVID just before Christmas, so they can't have the other one yet. And many families cancelling holidays. So it's still a patchwork, but things are changing in the opposite direction too. So the beautiful Portuguese island of Madeira have just said, OK, everybody, in you come. No need to see if you've got jabs. No need to take a test. You're very welcome. It's sunny. Have a lovely holiday.
A smart decision there. I wonder if there might be a domino effect, really, of England being that first country in the developed world to say absolutely no rules, free for all, have your freedom back. Might other countries then potentially look across to us, get a little bit jealous and start loosening these rules that then is symbiotically good for us because we'll be able to go on holiday?
Well, Tom, that's I love the scenario.
Is it wishful thinking?
See that happening. Well, it is a bit, and I'll tell you why. Only because each country is absolutely obsessed with their own problems, and in particular getting their own people, particularly young people, vaccinated. And that's why you've got really strict rules here in France. So getting in is actually fine and getting easier. Once you're here, life is quite complicated if you are not fully vaccinated. And the rules are actually going to tighten up from Tuesday next week onwards. So I'd love to think that you were right, but I think even having a domino effect over the rest of the UK is going to be a bit of a push. Certainly, as you've been reporting, Scotland not exactly delighted by the decision. But I think there is going to be some domino action, which is that once countries start seeing, so Portugal, Greece have cut restrictions, Mexico doing really well, so's Turkey, they've got light restrictions. You will have a domino effect of restrictions clattering away, just as they did when suddenly, March 2020, we saw frontiers being closed all over the world. They're suddenly going to reopen, and places such as Western Australia, which has basically just said, no, sorry, Mercy, you can't come in. Sorry, Tom, not yet. They're going to be left behind.
Just very quickly, I mean, we're looking at a year where many families will become very strapped for cash, and they might actually consider that, that they might not be able to afford their usual family holiday this year. Just give us some tips of what families in that position, where they can go, that is on a small budget, is still an enjoyable holiday.
Well, my top tips are Ireland, which is going to be open and very manageable and very keen to get tourists, and probably some good deals there. And the other one, I mean, if you've got a car, just pack everybody into the car, go over the channel, and then along the beautiful French or Belgian coast. It's the way we used to do it. And great campsites. Get all your meals from the supermarket. It's a real good, low budget, high value holiday.
Well, Simon Calder, thank you so much for joining us, and for those top tips, travel expert there and travel editor for The Independent.
You know what? I love a bit of camping. I do it with my uni friends sometimes.
Really?
I've been to Wales, we've been to the south coast of England. No. It's actually, it can be a real treat.
I like Airbnbs, preferably with jacuzzis.
It's cheapest to go in a tent.
Rooms.